We're either born woman or man. Biologically, physically, you can only be one or the other. Either penis or vagina. Yin, yang, positive charge, or female negative charge. From a bioelectrical magnetic level, men are positively charged, women are negatively charged. What happens when the positive vertical is combined with the negative horizontal? You get a cross, a union of opposites, which is the male and the female, or the Star of David, the Seal of Solomon, the union of the contrasting opposites, the astral fire flame of intimacy and sex. We have the cross. That's why batteries and light bulbs need positive and negative charges. Energy flows through the currents, and then there's life and light. What happens if there's too much unstable energy? Electricity explodes, or in other words, something negative. Orgasm. And there's no more light or energy, no more attraction between male and female, positive, negative currents. Darkness arises. Trouble starts happening in paradise. Passion turning to lust is what damages this vibratory energy we build throughout the week. The week is the 7 seals of revelation. Those 7 days is that energy building. Do not identify attached to that pleasure, always wanting more of that heroin energy. Fapping is bad. If you want to enjoy it in its fullness and purity, you do not bust. Even with your partner, it only fuels more passion if you keep busting. You're not supposed to let go of the energy. You will hate your partner. That's why when you bust, you forget to tell your partner you love them. Kiss them goodnight. You just go to sleep, and it's very dark and not your higher self. What are we making? Love or death? It means death of consciousness when you bust. Love is not pleasure or desire. Love is a gift that can only be given. You cannot buy it. What is love? The orgasm is a ceasing of consciousness. It's a death. Love has no death in it, so they must be opposites. Marriage is sex. Sex is marriage. The partner, the girlfriend, the slut, whoever you have, is your cosmic marriage. Even if it's just for a week with her. That is sexual union. That is cosmic marriage. That's how this works. It's not what they tell you on the television. If you have a casual girlfriend, maybe she'll be my wife one day. Bro, she's already your wife if you're hitting it. In the spiritual plane, this is how it works. She's your wife, dude. That behind the dumpster, Wendy's dumpster hole is your wife. I am judging you. You can only have one partner to achieve these higher minds, states of non-dual consciousness, eternal bliss. 2 people have electric makeup, and through sex they become one. 2 magnets having one energy field when they are linked. This is science. It's not spirit science, it's real science. This is sexual alchemy, raising the astral sexual flames. You can be married intellectually, financially, emotionally, but not spiritually. That's a no-go. That will destroy you like your neighbors, your friends, and everyone you know. To dissolve the ego, you must build this flame with your partner, and you do not extinguish it unless it's to procreate. But you definitely go in and out. I'm not saying you don't do that part. With vows, of course. If you release that energy, then you bust. You release that energy and you fall into darkness. You stop liking your partner, and the magnets repel each other. You and your partner start to dislike each other. You're no longer interested in your partner, your woman, your F-slur. For women, busting will be irritation, dissatisfaction, but it's not that bad. They can bust sometimes, but the man cannot, because he will hate her. That's why if you have think of your best dates with your crush or someone you had a bond with. Those you go to a party and you guys maybe like go to the bathroom and you mix your beard up a bit with your girlfriend, and then you guys start bang bang doing it in there, and then someone knocked on the door. Nobody busts. You leave. You go back to the party, and you and your girl just wham energetically attached to each other. Deeper laughs, deeper intellectual conversations, more psychic connection, telekinetic powers, more infinitely more loyal because you didn't bust. And that's why these chicks who are like all about gonna make him bust, they have no game. I'm not saying don't rub me. I'm saying don't rub me that much. Lovemaking is never supposed to cease, even after the sexual act. So yeah, you walk around with her, you go to the beach, finish the ritual without busting, no orgasm. There's a vibrant aura you can see in couples who edge like this in a deep loving connection. Even after the act, they're like this. Their purity can be enjoyed by their friends, their aura, their pure aura. Everyone feels that loving aura. Affection is deepened between the couple. Or go back to your 70% divorce rate. You don't want that. What we call the honeymoon period should never end. Think of your first love. Explosion of light. Electromagnetic pulse in your heart. Thinking of her. It was bliss that changed your whole world, you little simp. That is the truest form of love. And it's fleeting and gone because you extinguish the flame being a little slut. All argument and friction happens when you abuse this attraction principle. You extinguish this sexual fire and then you hate each other. Your meditative state builds as she teases you, but she's loyal to just you. But that teasing, it's a long process. As much as it feels like it sucks, you become a stronger mind through this alchemical wedding of the opposites. Talk to your bitch and tell her. In ancient times, prostitutes were a more holy job, and they were used to build up young men and their sexual meditative practices. I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just saying this is history that has been hidden from you. You must sanctify this energy in a conscious way, in a teamwork way with your bitch. Once you and your partner get good at this, then you can even do some shaming, whipping, spanking, make the game harder and louder. But you guys don't bust. You guys are a team. It must be slow, sweet words, tender, caressing. It must start slow. That's how you build the flame. You can't just go into it. You're not animals. You're building bond here. You're not building a big breakup. No animal energy. That comes later. This actually makes you a more sensitive to the skin, the body. Everything feels better. It doesn't have to be as performative as the stuff we're used to, you know. When the fires are there, you don't need the extra stuff, but bring some lingerie, please. All this being done in a fasted state, so your hormones are peaking, your energy centers are peaking, and you guys both look the best. You're blushing in beauty. To control this primal state actually transmutes to controlling your life and being a successful adult in life who completes all of his goals, not just 1 out of 1,080 years. You're a loser if you do that. That's the average man. In this sense, scratch that. This would be a spiritual romance where you have all the time in the world for the hookup, never rushing. That rushing stuff is modern day nonsense. You have both become initiates of your flame. Be careful to not explode in energy, which which gets hard when you love the partner, especially for young people. There are certain dates and zodiac alignments that you can bust with your partner or have mistakes in your sexual meditative romance. To avoid bad energy in your life, it would depend on the date you're born. And then you find out which numbers are good for you, which numbers on the calendar. To increase the transmutation of energy with your partner, you want to go into a super conscious state of what you guys are getting up to. Not a collective subconscious bleeding through your primal astral universe of desires type intimacy. You don't want that. That's not intimacy. You want to bend the oceans of the subconscious that pour through with your conscious state or your ego. It's refining alchemically your ego. Ego is a good and a bad thing, but just focus on it being your true self that you can see without the shadow, without the stuff you've suppressed. And the fake stuff you tell yourself, that's also ego, which all falls in the self. Not self, cut that part out. It is not the self, but the ego see it as a tool for the self, the true self. If you feel like cheating, if you still have those passions, even after practicing this kind of spiritual bond, then it means it's not your partner, dude. She's not for you. Or you're very addicted to being a dog. Woof, 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 bitch. Woof, woof. And before you start with your partner, you want to do breathing exercises and really center yourself and see it like as a ritualistic game day. You are an NFL quarterback. Don't bust. So you and your partner will never get bored of each other. There'll always be new energies, new creative rivers flowing through both you, even when you're not around each other, as you practice this kind of alchemical psychic wedding between you and your partner. Intro. I got asked about ancient Egyptian and other ancient tribes. Hey Zherka, I saw a tweet where you talked about the honeymoon and how alchemical spiritual weddings used to be held compared to hookup culture of today. Can you go into that? Yes. Don't ask me how I know this. In ancient Egyptian times, this is how the union of opposites, the male and the female, negative, positive, yin, yang, black and white, positive, negative charges. This is how a relationship would go between the male and the female. And I'm not going to talk about other pronouns, okay? 1.